Leela, you bring me back to the 60s. You do it very well.
Oh,
This is
thank
what
you.
this way it was 50 years ago or whenever. Yeah.
Right? Isn't she like a hot Janis Joplin?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Janis
That is.
Joplin. That's it.
Oh,
Enlightened.
oh, thank you, Michael.
I used to be a hippie, but I didn't look like that.
Pictures, please, Tony. Pictures.
Different generation of hippie.
So this is
Dear
Via,
goddess.
look at Indira. Oh my God, she's a belly dancer. Woo!
Neat.
Yeah, I'm getting all hot for a dead guy. So yeah, this is the freedom that there's just what's happening, that there's already nothing to do. You're already fully it. So in a way, seeking keeps the illusion going. It's saying, I'm not this. I have to seek it. But no, you're already fully this. So there's nothing to do.
Full stop. Yeah.
Because doing is actually being. Being will do. Being is doing. And so you can trust that when the moment is here, it knows exactly what to do.
So is the being seeking, or is there something else that's seeking?
The mind is seeking. And then we identify with the mind and we think we're seeking.
But the mind is no different than the being, right? Otherwise, there's no separate mind from the being.
Well, it's like the sun and the rays. You could say there's no difference between the sun and the rays, but you could also say there is. The rays are not the sun. You're fully the being, and the being it knows how to do better. That's what I discovered. I saw that being knew more in this moment than I did, and it was just the doer just dissolves because you realize this infinite intelligence already takes care of everything.
Mind comes and goes, and yet being does not.
Yeah.
Michael, I thought you were going to pick up on the theme of your video, which was about changing, right? And what was unchanging and changing?
Yeah, you don't ever, everything that you see in vision changes, right? People's movements, heads nodding, even if you turn right or left, the scenery changes. So vision is constantly changing. Same with words, hearing, sound. Sounds are endlessly changing. So they can't be what you actually are because they're not stable. They come and go. What I was looking for is a piece that didn't come and go.
That's the beautiful paradox, isn't it? Because you can discriminate between the unchanging, that which is appearing and disappearing, and the unchanging awareness from which it seems to arise. But then that seems like you're treating them as different things, separate things, when in reality, that which is changing is also awareness, but it's awareness shaping itself into form. So yeah, as Gregory said, being is, well, there's just being, right? Everything is being.
So you're saying nothing's changing, right, Tony? What you said there? Nothing's really changing.
No, nothing's really changing from the perspective of just pure beingness, of the unchanging witness. Nothing is changing. But yet there is the appearance of something that's changing. I mean, the mind can't really get around this.
You can say everything's changing and yet nothing's changing simultaneously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not two. The change and the changes are not two.
It's
Right.
not-
And yet they appear like they are two.
but the one appears as many.
Right.
Ocean and the waves. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's all water.
Mhm.
hmm
It's like the ocean is beingness, and the fish and the crabs they're passing by. That's the impermanence. They're changing. They're just the animals in the ocean, and it's part of the whole ocean.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Tony. That's so true. The appearance, it appears as if there's two, but in reality, it's just one.
Yeah, because also, what is this many? When you look at an object, like, my hand, where does my hand end and the space around it begin? Where does the horizon finish? And where does the sea and the sky become different on the horizon? I mean, there's no place on the horizon that you could say this is now suddenly sky rather than ocean.
Michael, you said there's nothing that you need to do, like there's there's not really any point in seeking because you already are the being. So if something's telling you to notice like what's underneath this moment, well, you're already being, right? So what's the point of even an instruction like that?
If seeking is happening, it's pretty much impossible to stop it. So it's being pretending to seek, and that's okay. It's already, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Seeking.
it's
Right.
actually the mind.
Yeah.
So you don't have to sign off on the mind's agenda. Do you know what I mean? Like the mind says, "Oh, this is a problem," and if you agree, "Oh my God, this is a problem," you got duped. You bought in. But what it is beingness. Life already has an infinite intelligence, and it's here now. But as long as you think you're the doer, versus knowing that the moment always knows best. So all action is actually springing from being. It's the being that's actually the doer, not you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mind is getting done.
Well, that's another paradox, isn't it? What did you say, Gregory? What was both here at the same time? I forgot what you said.
The change you can say the change or the changeless are both the same, or
Oh yeah,
impermanence,
right,
impermanence.
yeah. Oh, yeah. But it's the same with doership.
Yeah.
There seems to be doership and non-doership simultaneously.
Yeah.
So when you appear to do something, it just spontaneously happens without doership.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you report it afterwards, you say, I did this.
Yeah.
as if you were the doer. So yeah.
It's practical. If you want to communicate it, it's practical.
Yeah, it's practical. Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, it's just,
No,
if you really see what's happening, you can say, well, I'm the one that's doing all this work and my body's tired, but it's actually everything is happening at once. So it's not really, there's not really a doer there making everything happen. It's just, it seems like the body's just as much as part as everything else that's happening. It's not outside of what's happening, making something happen.
I just reminded of this talk that Ramesh Balsekar gave, because he was really strong on the fact that there's no doership. But he said, look, if somebody knocks at your door and says, you owe me 20 rupees, it's no good saying, I don't owe you any money. I'm not the doer. I'm not the doer.
Yeah. That won't work well on a cop either.
Yeah.
Or judge. I didn't rob that bank.
I like to say doership isn't what you think it is.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenon, but there's just no one doing it.
Yeah. It's really hard to find where it begins or ends as far as what's doing it. What's really the cause behind it or any of that. You're trying to look for it. You can seem to find it with the mind, but then you can kind of inquire into that as well, and that'll collapse as well. So then you won't really get anywhere. You'll just keep trying to find a source for it, and you'll never find a source.
Yeah, and when it collapses, all there is just, it's so simple and ordinary. It's not a big hurrah or anything. It's always been here. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's so ordinary. And it's for me, it was like, it blew me away because all these years or seeming years of just searching and searching, but yeah, even that was it, of course, but it just took one moment of openness here to really want to see. It was all about seeing for me here, seeing and feeling. And it's so simple that the mind will never grasp it because the mind is very complicated. It goes around like this, getting anywhere.
Yeah, I like to say like that moment when it was seen as an ordinary, it was also extraordinary. It was extraordinarily ordinary.
Yes.
Just left me in awe. The wonder came back. All that wonder that seemed to be missing just flooded right back in, and I was like, "Whoa, it was never missing." It's just the knowing seemed to cover it up, but then I saw the knowing itself was just an echo of the wonder.
Yeah.
Manny, you're cracking me up. When I look at Manny, I think I've got a bit of loose change I want to throw into his tin cup.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's.
And isn't Don so cute?
Leela, turn on, tune in, and drop out.
Right?
There you go. Yeah.
Make love, not bombs.
Mhm.
Liberation for me is seeing that I'm not thought. I was never thought.
Yeah.
How did you see that, Indira?
That's a good question. Yeah.
Who saw it?
No one. It was just seen.
Mhm.
Well, that's why we say try everything, because as a doer, I did. I probably like most of you. Every book, every video, every YouTube, I tried all the teachers, and literally nothing worked. And so I just gave up. Like I literally I admitted defeat. I go, I don't know. And it was only then that I saw that this does itself.
Yeah. Isn't that what humanity does when all the collecting of all that accumulation of knowledge, and it never ends. And they're just constantly collecting knowledge, trying to get to some paradise. Once we get that right knowledge, then there'll be this big sweeping sweep that'll come across the world, and they think it'll be make everything all right. It's already all right, exactly as it appears. But you know, the knowledge, the chasing after that knowledge is just an endless endeavor, which is beautiful in itself because it seems to open up all kinds of new technologies and everything else, and it's wonderful. It's a bit of a compassion in itself.
Well, being the doer can be torture.
Mm.
Like if you think you're the doer, it's an enormous burden.
Yeah.
Because along with doership comes guilt.
Mm-hmm.
I could have done it better. I shouldn't have said that. Why didn't this happen? It's endless.
Mm-hmm. It covers up the shame that's there. It's like this repressed shame we hold on to, and then we turn it around. It becomes so painful. Then you have to find somewhere to blame it on. So then you project it out into the world. Then the world becomes your shadow. So now you're a self with a shadow. And then you're arguing with the world, but you're just arguing with yourself the entire time.
I notice there's a residue after you try to explain something to someone, and there's this kind of a negative residue or this feeling of, oh, that's not it either.
Mm-hmm.
And you can feel it. At least I can. It's a sensing of, oh, you know, it can't be explained. You can't be. Yet we do everything we can to just be. And you know, you could add the ing after it, all the things, and there's a knowing, there's a being, and and at the same time, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't need to be explained, yet you're trying hard to explain it, and then you afterwards you feel like, oh yeah, I missed the mark.
Funny because this is already here, and then
Yeah.
without an explanation, and then the explanation comes in afterward to try to explain whatever seems to be happening after the fact. And then that's what's happening now is the explanation. Everything appearing as an explanation, but it's always a bit too late.
The narrator, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just what's happening. It's the simplicity of what is.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just this Zoom meeting right here. This is it. This is all that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Voila. This is it. Yeah.
Yay!
Alexis, we want to see your costume.
It just looks like some weirdo sleeping in bed at like super early.
Sleeping Beauty.
Anand, so good to see you. I don't think I've ever heard you talk before. Would you like to say something?
I don't know what to talk. Just I will say thank you. Thank you all. All are looking very funny and cute.
All right.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, Anand.
Anon.
Hi, Cedric.
No, for me, liberation, I like that word, is, for my experiences, the non-dual ones, so to speak, they're not ordinary. Whatever I'm having, it's like, for me, it's liberation is when I sort of drop into the heart, not by conscious effort, never by conscious effort. It just, the heart opens. And the love, called love, just like pours out. And then it loves, it's not even like oneness. It just loves everything. So the love that comes out goes into the quote dualness or the duality and loves that. So it's more sort of like integrating, or maybe like the love integrating into the non-dual, and just loves it. It's not ordinary in this experience over here. It's not ordinary at all. It's like it's moving, it's opening. It's like, it's definitely not ordinary in the way I'm using the word ordinary. It's like love for the self, love for me, love for you, love for love, love for God, love for my dog, love for. It's like the love doesn't need anything, yet it has a movement to love everything, but it doesn't need anything. But it's just an expression to love everything. Like it like loves the love to love all 70 trillion cells in this body. Like, yeah, like, and to love that person up there who is seeking and trying and messing up. Okay, love ya. Oh yeah, right. You know, it's like it loves. It doesn't make distinctions. It just loves. So yeah,
that's beautiful, Don.
Yeah.
That's really, really beautiful. Really beautiful.
When it gets into the mind is where it starts becoming decisive, but yet it's being filtered and limited through the mind. And so you can actually see it in, like, when people go to war, and both sides are in love with their side of their culture, their way of life, and feel threatened by the other side. Yet the other side is not really empty because they're also loving their way of life and feeling threatened by the other side. And so it's being limited. It's being said, well, this is what's loved here, and so it becomes objectified in that sense. But then it's even a serial killer seems to have some kind of love and passion in them. They like going out and killing people, so they have a love for doing that. You know, there's still a love there. It's like you can't escape it. It just gets limited. But
it's
in the
like,
spirit
it's like
form, go ahead.
It's like a fragrant flower. If you've got a flower in the room, it's giving off a scent. It's everywhere. It doesn't matter. You're watching TV, you're on the phone, you're reading a book. That fragrance is just there. It pervades every experience, no matter what it is. Unconditional.
Yeah.
Even if it feel like
Leela sometimes says brutal love.
yeah,
Brutal, yes.
it can feel not like love, but that's the love.
Yeah.
It can feel ordinary, but that's the love. That's my experience. I'm not trying to argue with Don.
Yeah, Leela, it's ordinary because it's totally familiar.
Yeah.
There's nothing unfamiliar about it.
Right.
Like when it's there, you just go, oh yeah, but it's always been this. It's always been.
Yeah, the only belief that kept the seeker suffering is that he needed to seek for what he already is. You're already beingness already, fully. So there is nothing to seek for. That's the suffering, is to seek for what you already are.
Yeah, it's
Indira, you go.
yeah, it's familiar and unfamiliar. It's familiar in that it's always been here, and it's, to me, it feels everything is just natural. It's, you know, a lot of tuning into the sense gates with all of this. The unfamiliar is being blinded or um, looking through thought the entire time, innocently the whole time. It's like beingness is right here, and then thoughts, the seeking, which is what the thoughts want, that I've been identified with thought. And then it's like do a meditation, thought comes up, that's not enough. Read, that's not enough. And then there's identification, but beingness has always been here, noticing all of this. Uh, so that's what I feel. And then there's more of a movement with intuition, and that seems to be more in the forefront. Whereas thoughts are still coming up, it's more in the background. But there's more of a movement with intuition. Like Angelo, I was talking to him this week about procrastination, and I realized I was talking to Michael too about it, and that I'm seeing that doesn't even make sense anymore. The procrastination just doesn't make sense, and that's where the relief comes in, because it's like if it gets done, it gets done. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Mm.
And the body tells the truth, and the mind is the lie. So now there's all this attention on the body and trusting in what the body wants in each every moment. It just does what it wants. The mind will say we're going to do this and do that, but then the body does something different.
Mhm. That's gorgeous, Indira.
Yeah, that's really
Beautiful.
beautiful. It reminds me of that quote, the sage makes no decisions. Like more and more, there's just like the body does things like very spontaneously. Like even
Mm.
if there's a plan, sometimes the body does what's planned, sometimes not, back and forth. It's so clear that there's no one sort of driving the car.
Hmm.
It's kind of fun there too when the body kind of seems, it's like the body realizes I don't got to do this. I'm just gonna forget it.
Yeah, it's just gonna do what it's gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pure torture when it's fighting itself on that. Like the mind says, no, we shouldn't take a nap, we should
Mm.
have more energy or whatever.
Mm. And the
But
mind can be a tyrant.
you can watch yourself. It's happening. This nap is about to happen.
I had a girl on the airplane, a young woman I was working with, and she said to me, she had been in her 20s, and she says, when I go back to the hotel, I'm going to work out, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and blah blah blah. And then she said, "What are you going to do?" And I said, I just don't know. I don't know. I said, "Have
That's
you?"
right.
I said, "Let's play a little bit here. Notice how the body and the mind is different." I actually told her this because it felt really authentic. Have you ever noticed that when your mind tells you you're going to do this or that, and notice how the body sometimes apply and sometimes it doesn't?
Mm.
And that's the truth. Like what you shared, Leela. Like I remember when I believed in structure, there was so much belief in structure, and the mind would say, well, you need to go to this party and do this. When I just came back from a 7 hour flight, but the body, but the decline. So the body just it fell asleep, and that's exactly what needed to be done. And there was no guilt in that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so all these qualities like guilt and I have to make the right decision, regret, those are all for the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Being has doesn't even know what regret. I mean, doesn't even compute. Being
Yeah.
is just being. And it's such a relief to realize it's got it covered. It's been running the show the whole time.
Mm-hmm. The mind's busy looking for control, and being is completely out of control, and it's just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The mind's always too late anyway. Every time it
Yes.
thinks about something, it's already gone.
That's true.
That includes talking about being in the present. You know, people talk about being in the present, but that's already history. If you you talk about present, it's already in the past, isn't it? It's gone. You can't grasp it. You can't get hold of it. I'm
Yeah.
in the present. That's still time bound, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no one to be in the present, that's for sure.
But sometimes people say that. I say, well, where else can you be? I mean, where else can you be but now?
Yeah.
That's all that's ever happening is what's ever happening right here in this direct immediacy. That's it. Nothing else.
That's the only that's the only thing you ever know. Just
Yeah.
this thought, this feeling, that's it.
Yeah. That's all there is what's happening right here.
And I
Not a
found
thing missing.
I'm knowing
And
less.
that, and Gregory, that is a beautiful freedom.
It is.
It can be kind of scary at first, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So this is just like grasping for the conditioning, and I got to do this or I got to do that, and then that can be very scary because then it starts to collapse, and then you're like, oh, what am I going to do? If this collapse, what am I going to do? Because that whole sense of control is just dissolving in that moment. So and then you always felt like you had control and you had decisions to make, and yet this was always taking care of everything. It was always doing everything, being everything.
Yeah, one of the
Yeah,
reasons
it's really.
we're
Oh,
so
sorry, Michael.
oh, I was just going to say, Tony, one of the reasons that um, it can seem so difficult to see this is because our entire society is based on doing.
Yeah, totally. There's such a I saw a bumper sticker that said stop the glorification of busy. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
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 No, I was just going to say that it's funny. People say, you know, I want to be in control of my life because I want to be free. Yeah, I'm now totally in control of my life. I have the freedom that I've always wanted because I'm in control. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, it's the other way around. If you realize you're not in control whatsoever, then you're free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, Anon just let a ghost loose.
He's doing stuff out there. Yeah.
Leela and alien.
Oh,
Perfect, Leela.
the
Where's
hearts.
Cedric? Hey, Cedric, you want to get in here?
Yeah, I mean, I think all that's being shared, uh, I'm definitely reflecting on a lot of things that's being shared here. I feel that ultimately for me, it, it's, I feel like I don't know what uh, there is to talk about in a sense that for for anyone to start speaking, what first has to happen. And what has to happen is you must first take yourself to be a certain identity. And only from there can you speak. And what I found is that all problems arise out of identity. So without picking up an identity, unless again, you know, I'm with my kids, then I can pick up the identity of being a dad.
Yeah.
With my wife, the identity of being a husband.
Yeah.
But they're more so, it's kind of like playing a video game. I know what I need to do. I know how to present myself, depending on what the moment brings. But when it really comes to problems, um, it only comes from when I pick up an identity. And so for me, it's hard for me to share anything unless, someone asks me a question because, you know, even to speak is like, do I think I know something to then, do I know something to then speak in the first place? You know, I even question that reality. Do I know anything at all? And so, uh, but yeah, that's just what I wanted to share.
Wow.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks, Cedric. Yeah.
Mm, yes. Yeah,
Cedric, you're absolutely right. There's nothing to say. Yet here we are.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I remember in doing the inquiry on that too about those roles we play, these identities that we have, and it kind of struck me as funny because you might be a father to your child, but you can't go to work and act like a father to your boss. They're not going to appreciate that one bit if you start treating them like a child. So it's out of place. But then we have a lot. But then I'm sitting here holding on to the identity all the time and saying, well, I'm not always a father unless I'm in that position, and that's what's going on in that relationship, that dynamic. In that moment, I'm a father. But I'm not always walking around as a father. That identity is not always there. It comes and it goes. And so it was just kind of funny to see that. And it was as that was kind of collapsing and seeing that there was no real identity there that stuck. It just kind of came and went. It was just like a role being played.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like fathering can just happen. Just like, when I bake a cake, I'm not sort of feeling like I have to be a baker, you know? It's just like a cake happening.
Taking.
The body knows how to react around certain scenarios and certain people, like how to act around a cop, how to act around a toddler, you know,
Mhm.
And
knows.
it's all of it is all okay, all of it. And that
Yeah.
being in this world, but taking the role of a flight attendant, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
the role of a sister. But I can still see through that, it's like being in the world, but seeing
Mhm.
that I'm not of it. And I'm knowing less and less. I don't know anything, even though the mind thinks it does, or it appears as if it does.
Kind of like what Tony pointed out, just we only know what's happening right here in this moment. That's about the extent of knowing is theirs. Just the words that are coming out in this very moment, in this very. So it's like there's like only one word that you can speak at a moment. So you only know that one word. The other words gone. The other words you
No.
spoke are gone. You
Yeah,
don't even think about them no more. You don't even care about knowing them anymore. They're just gone. And you're not
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, it becomes magical that anything seems to make sense at all.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing in that sense. It's free flowing when it's amazing, but it's not so amazing when you have to hold on to it and memorize it and keep repeating it all the time, and defending it and all that other stuff. And so that when that finally falls apart, then it's just free flowing. It's like water.
There
Yeah,
can be
as Indira says, there's nothing wrong with assuming these different roles. It's just all happening very spontaneously, without any thinking. You just kind of make these adjustments to negotiate yourself to negotiate your way through various situations, and even if you're not in a particular role, you might speak differently to someone than you do from somebody else because there's just, I don't know, a different dynamic going on, and you just somehow uh, modify your behavior. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Where does that negotiating that you're speaking of coming from then, if not the mind?
Who knows, Don? I mean, who knows? I really don't. Actually, I can't answer that question. It's just arising.
So as an example, this is good. So yesterday, my son and I had an argument. Okay. So, and it didn't feel good to me. It didn't feel good to him. And so I last night I meditated on it and looked at it, inquired into it, looked at it from maybe his point of view and all things. And today, and I think this was all being done mentally. It wasn't, I don't think my being was there. Or being was there, but I don't think the being was doing it. And I said, well, when he says this, and I usually react this way, don't do that, because that causes, elevates things. So do this instead, because this will probably work. Something like that. And so we were together today, and started to come up, and I noticed the first reaction to go, oh no, to get into the argument.
Mhm.
And then I said, well, and now I'm trying to figure out what said this. It's like, no, that's not going to work. And I'm not looking at that as some being was saying that, like the one that knows all or whatever. It was like, that's not going to work. So do this. This will probably work. Did that. Turned out to be great conversation, great communication. So my question is, what is that process? I mean, I could say it just.
Oh, but that's all after the fact, isn't it? It's after the
Yeah,
fact. I mean,
well,
when I was
yeah.
talking about negotiation, I was talking about reflective thinking about the negotiation that happened. But at the time of the negotiation, there was
Right.
no one thinking, right, I'm negotiating now. But it just like happens, right? So
No,
it's only a reflection.
I don't see that as that it was just happening. You could look at it from the big view. Yes, it was just happening. I mean, if God was looking down and saying, oh, it's just happening. But I'm saying that I had something to do with that something, this quote, separate me, using that, did something to create a certain outcome that would not have happened if I didn't do that.
Okay, Don, does that work for you?
In this situation, it worked, and it's worked. Yeah, it works all the time if I do it. If I slow down and inquire, keep my mouth closed, inquire, and then speak. Yeah, it works.
It's funny because you say, well, if I did that, something else would have happened.
Yeah.
But of course, that's never going to happen, isn't it? Because what happened is what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I had done the other, I know what would have happened.
Well, that's just the mind
No,
now
that's
playing
not.
games now, isn't it?
Keep talking about this. I don't get that one at all. If I go to Tai Chi class, I feel better. I guarantee you that. If I do not go to Tai Chi class, I do not feel better. Those are two different outcomes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why you're the doer. Yeah, that's why you're the doer as well as not being the doer.
Sorry,
Because you appear to do things, right?
Okay.
Cedric,
you appear to act.
go ahead.
No, I was saying that, if I don't go to a Tai Chi class or do go, you may, on doing one thing, you may experience one thing. And then on doing another, you may experience another thing. But the real question is, like, who is affirming that I feel this way and don't feel that way? This is the identity itself that feels good and feels bad. Mm-hmm. So, in fact, the ability or the fact that we can take different, identities, like I've attended a funeral recently and there's just one body, but this body is a father, a son, aunt, uncle, friend, teacher, many different things, right? Mm-hmm. But this points to something that, we are in essence identityless. Mm-hmm. And it is only because of that we can take any identity we want. Mm-hmm. There's even, I can be a man and feel like a woman, right? I can have many identities within this body, but whoever, what acknowledges anything is the identity. The being doesn't acknowledge anything, doesn't know what feels good or feels bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very well put.
I don't think it's to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's all this stuff is very subtle, and there's nothing wrong with practical solutions. You know, we don't have to throw that stuff away. It's also a free expression.
For all these characteristics to move through the dream, to
Yeah.
navigate, being able to navigate through the dream. So just like you do in a sleeping dream, you're not, when you can waken to realizing that's just a dream happening and you're really not that body and that person that you thought you were moments before. And then you realize, oh, I'm the whole dream. This is literally this whole dream. You can say it's the mind that's creating the whole dream or consciousness or whatever. It's fine, but you know that you are that whole entire dream. You're not just one of the characters. You're all the characters. But then the other characters will come up to you and tell you how separate you are from them. They know who you are, but it doesn't matter. They'll still argue with you that they're separate from you. It doesn't stop. The dream doesn't just stop. It continues, even though you're seeing it as just a dream.
Who is saying that the other people are the same as me? Isn't that already coming from separation? That there's even other people
Right.
to even be the same as you?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, it's the same thing too. Is when the identities are not always constant there, so they're dropping, and that kind of reveals that there's something there that's deeper than that. That's not an identity.
And who is acknowledging this? What is seeing this?
I don't even think it
Whatever.
really. I don't think
Oh
it
well,
has, comes back to it.
that's where self-inquiry comes in.
Yeah, because I can't find a who. I can't find a self when I see selfing happening. I see that happening as a mental activity, but I can't find a self anywhere in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how do you know? By what reference do you use to say what you're saying right now?
I don't have a reference for it. It just pops up. It seems to happen. I don't know what it is. It just seems to happen.
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like the knowing is when turning around, the knowing all the time was telling me I'm a knower. There's a me that's here that's a knower, but what was telling me that the whole time? It was the knowing that was telling me that the whole time. So and then when I'm asked the knowing, what are you then? What are you? And then it would just kick forth thoughts. And I said, I'm not asking what for another thought because that's not answering the question. I want what are you as this knowing? What is this knowing that keeps telling there's a me here that's a knower, and then you've been telling me this whole time that I need to go and search for knowledge to know myself, but it's you all the time that's telling me, it's projecting a me as a knower. I know I'm this knowing. But yet the knowing doesn't know itself, doesn't know what it is. And then it reveals in itself that it's the unknowable.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't need to know itself as the unknowable. It doesn't have to come up and say, oh, I have to know myself as the knowable. The unknowable only seems to arise to answer that the claim that there is a knowing.
That's so beautiful.
There's a lot of things there.
There's a lot to unpack there.
I think
But the no self, the no self, Gregory, is just no self as an entity, isn't it? Because it's like if you're walking in the forest, you never see anything called a forest. You just look at a tree and another tree and another tree, but there's no such thing as a forest. So in that sense, there's no such thing as a self. But there is selfing. Selfing seems to be happening.
Yeah, just like a tree, you can see it pop up and it's treeing. This is treeing.
Self is sort of a state or a flavor. It's never a self, but it can arise anytime as a flavor.
Is that tree the forest? Yeah, that's the forest. What about that tree? Yeah, that's the forest as well.
It's just like when I drink this, or thoughts coming out. I'm catching it. When I pick up this cup and drink, there's no thought to it, and then later on it'll say, "Oh, we just got something to drink." Like, who's we? What like as if there's like 3 people in here or something. But just noticing that, watch the body during the day. It's just, you get up, like even watching Alexis that last time she was drawing. I mean, there's no thought to that. But then the thought will come up, not with her, but I'm just saying if I was drawing, just a spontaneous, as that's why it feels like such a relief, because it's just that whole responsibility has collapsed. Now the mind can be used as a tool to pay bills and to do things of that nature, but everything else is just the body and the intelligence in it,
Right.
or I don't know, whatever is in it. I don't really have the answer. Trusting in that movement, just like I'm doing this with my leg. There's no thought.
Oh, wow.
Thought to that.
Yeah, special abilities.
That got a rise from Michael.
Yeah, Indira, can you keep doing that so I can get my views up?
Oh my God, Michael.
Hey, Michael, you came as a corpse, so I guess there's no thinking there, right?
Yeah, it's pretty dead over here. Yeah, I just want to say that the effortlessness of being was the revelation here. As a doer, it's very exhausting and tiring, and you're in the mind, and there's always the doubt that am I doing the right thing? It was a lot of work and energy and stress. And I noticed that being just knows. Call it intuition, whatever you like. But being just, I don't know.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Michael.
yeah.
There's no pointer that is correct. Like we could say,
Yeah.
this is it. Well, that implies that there's a that other than this. So it's not in the words.
Mhm.
If words are meaningless, then it doesn't matter what's said.
Mm.
But it's the finger pointing to the moon. It's not in the words.
Mhm.
You're already the moon.
Her too.
And the finger.
Yeah, and the finger pointing at it.
And the space between.
Yeah, and everything else.
Oh,